going to give you a quick demo of our CTN Network website, ctnnetwork.net. Join our community. It is free. You just type in ctnnetwork.net, and this is the homepage right here. And if you want to create an account, you would just click up here and create new account right here. Sign up with your email, or you can sign up with just clicking on Facebook or Google. So you can sign up with your Facebook account or your Gmail. So I'm already signed up, so I'm going to click in Gmail right here, and it's going to log me in. And as you can see, this is our homepage. Click on creators right here, and this shows you all the CTN family members that are content creators. Everybody is on here. If you want to go to one of their YouTube channels, for example, if you want to go to Crypto Talk Now, just click on channel, and it takes you right over to the YouTube channel for that particular creator. And you click on community. This is our community right here. We do have a forum, and this is a forum where you can post things, you can interact with one another. And there's also a blog right over here that we post our own content on. And if you click on CTN Studios, you can watch our live show and other content creators' live shows right through this CTN Studios. We do have advertisements for some of the content creators. There's the Crypto Smith, there's Waddy, the Crypto Hunter, and we also have live charts for the ISOs right in this box right here. We have a feature where you click on the heart if you want to donate to us. You can donate with Ethereum or Binance, BNB. And also, if you click on this button right here, we're going to have a call-in feature, which is already live. If you want to call us, just click on the green icon, the green phone icon, and click on call now. And during the show, between 9:15 and 10, when we announce it, when Max is on or when I'm on with Max, we will start accepting phone calls, and you guys can be live with the show. If you want to turn your video on, you can come on camera as well. So good stuff there. Now back onto the homepage. If you click on members, you can see all the people that are members here. All these people here, like Chaka just signed up, Gills33, Miguel. All these people here are members of our community. So you guys can sign up, and then you can chat with one another. So you can either click over here, message right here. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to welcome him. I'll send him a quick message, and then I can click enter or just a little arrow. If you want to message somebody else, you can click on message, or you can go right over here into members chat and go ahead and message them and create a new chat if you want by clicking this little button right here. Now also, if you scroll down here, you can see some of the past videos that our content creators in our content creator family have created. You can go in here and watch some of the recorded videos. They're scrolling down here. Just choose one to watch. And that's it, guys. Thank you for watching this brief demo. Make sure you sign up so you can interact and be part of the community when we are not on the live show.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. Come on, I had to do it. All right, glad to be here with you guys. We're going to have a pretty good show, hopefully, for the most part. My camera was acting up, so no guarantees, but you know what? We're going to get through it. If I had to go Rich at Common Sense Crypto style, we're going to get through it. All right. Glad to have everybody here. I'm going to start off with welcoming a few of you guys. We got some things in store for today. And if you're wondering about like the schedule of things, I will give you an idea of how that's going to go. So on the agenda today, it's just a little brief thing in regards to Jasmi. On top of that, we have just a brief bit of XRP. And then on top of that, we have some Quant. We also have some XDC finally, right? And we have some Nexera from Tokenizer, which is cool. We have an official announcement from Monty Metzger of LCX. We also have an announcement from the X Frontier in regards to Casper and Google. And then on top of that, one of the key highlights of today's show is going to be in regards to BSV. You're not going to want to miss that. I found some pretty good things in regards to BSV. But it should be a really great show. And on top of that, what I want to state is basically it's like this. So once the Eastern Conference Finals, if it gets wrapped up today, then there won't be any games until June 1st. And so for the most part, the coverage won't get shut off, or shortened, I should say, abruptly. So for some of you guys who are like, screw the NBA, maybe that's good news for you. All right. So let's start things off by welcoming our wonderful audience and community members. Start things off with Mike. Hello, I'm early. Hello, is it Mike you're looking for? Lionel Richie. Thank you for being here, Mr. Mike, and being early. Tim Shea, who says, hey, the mayor of crypto, the crypto commissioner representing the 589th district XRP Army. Thanks for being here, Mr. Tim Shea. Here's another dab from the metaverse. I'm not going to hit the camera, though, because I don't want to do anything. But then there it goes. Yeah, isn't that wonderful? Tim Shea saying hello to JC. All right, let me see where we're at on this. I don't know why it just wants to do that all the time. It's just so stupid. And I just upgraded the settings on this. So I don't know what the deal is, to be honest. Don't know what the deal is. And it's annoying. And it's probably going to rug me here any moment. Hi, JC the man. KK says, feels like we're going to have several projects pump at the same time. Buy then, buy more. One way of looking at it. Dingy, welcome. Glad to have you here. Brittany, happy Tuesday. Glad to have you here, Brittany. Man, I don't understand this thing. It's just so frustrating. So frustrating. Oh, man. All right, Richard. There we go. I know you guys can hear me, but anyway. Let's go further down. We got River. Good evening to you, Uncle Thursday. Wealth transfer on the way. Thank you for that. Speaking of Lionel Richie, hello. Is it Menelec we're looking for? Lionel Richie. Glad to have you here. But welcome to Uncle Thursday as well as Mentelect with the great intellect. They call him Mentelect. Jay Cryptic, welcome. Cool Cat Crypto, welcome. Glad to have you guys here tonight. Patrick Collier, Professor Maximus has been rugged on his camera, but thank you for being here. Patrick Collier. Dingy says Hara has a check mark now next to his name. Good stuff. Yeah, we're going to show that as well. I like how you threw in the LOL on that. It's pretty cool. Dingy says, how is everyone? And let's see here. All right. Glad to have Mr. Lambo's Crypto Talk also here today. And let me see what we have here in store. All right. I'm going to try one last thing. And if it still gets all hissy, then forget it. I don't know what to say. One of those things. Ugh. There we go. Maybe let's try a different background. I don't know. That has nothing to do with it. But I'll try Larry's background. You're going to be thinking I invaded his house. You're going to be thinking, I don't know what to do about this. All right. And if anything, I'll try 720 instead of 1080. Maybe that'll fix some things. I have invaded Larry's house. Unbelievable. Look at that casting couch behind me. Look at that. All right? Unbelievable. You know how he has those green highlights? Look at that. Yes, all sorts of horrible things have happened on that casting couch. As in what? As in just his dog getting up on there. Get your mind out of the gutter. All right. So I'm not going to jinx it. I'm going to rock with this right now. It's kind of weird. You know, I feel like I'm at Larry's place for the first time ever, virtually speaking. All right. I want to welcome Mr. Magic Power. Hello, guten Tag, Liechtenstein Exchange. And Jasmi in the house. Yes, thank you for being here. CPR is here. Hi, everyone. Menace. Oh, there it goes. So that had nothing to do with it. Menace is in the house. KR Finance posted the entire live AMA with Hara. Yeah, very, very cool. All right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share something with you guys here in a bit. And this thing's just kind of going off like crazy. Maybe try a different port or something. Give me a second. Wow. Well, I can always switch it to a different port. Who knows? All right. Yeah, I did see something about that. And we'll go from there. All right. Back to HD. Background. And it's just going crazy again. Wow. Who knows what's causing this ridiculousness? All right. Tim Shea says, hey, Gary, welcome. Glad to have you guys. GS is in the house. Elon Muff, hello. This is the crypto show I'm looking for. Lionel Richie. Yes, thank you very much. Welcome back to Jasmi Movement. Much love to everyone of the great investors in the crypto in here tonight. Much love and respect always. We are very, very early. Thank you very much. All right. So what I'm going to do on this particular one, because this thing's driving me crazy with all the sounds too. I'm going to try to mute something real quick right now. Hold on a second. Excuse me. I can't even mute myself. This is how bad this thing is. And everything's frozen. All right. I don't know what's going to happen, but we'll see. Thanks for being patient. All right. See some of the messages that Muff sent you guys. Appreciate that. Thank you for the $2 super chat from Elon Muff. Jasmi Movement, welcome. He says, awesome Blackwood. In our opinion, we are extremely early. We're early on a lot of things, though. You buy too much Jasmi. Is this the Jasmi Rehab group? All right. I saw no super chat come in. I do appreciate it from Henry Brown. He says, big shout out to everyone. Say off topic, but prepare. Looks like we have shortages soon and communications could go down. He doesn't know. Just prepare. All right. Max, take the $5 and upgrade. You were set. I tried a different camera that was brand new, and it was the same issue. I don't know what the problem is. All right, I'm gonna read a few more comments and kick into what we have. Looks like chat probably took off. Sorry about that. All right. You can only imagine what Jasmine will be worth 10 years from now. Crazy. That's a good point. All right. Thank you so much for everybody for being patient. I do appreciate you guys. Yeah, no problem, man. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking to do another deep dive. I just got to take the time to do it. All right. So let's go ahead and start things off. I noticed a delay, and there it goes again. I have no idea what causes this. It's extremely annoying. Just ruins the whole flow of everything. And knowing that, just to hear the constant sound of that thing making the sound, it's just the stupidest thing in the world. Hold on. I'm going to disconnect this completely. There we go. All right. I'm just going to get through it. So sorry. I don't want to keep you guys anymore. All right. I'm going to show you guys this. This comes straight from Jasmi. I actually retweeted this. So here you go. And it says RIP Flutters. You guys saw me basically retweet this, but the point is, you know, like what you see right here, right? Hara is finally verified, right? This is something that everybody's been requesting for quite some time now, which is good, right? You know, you do want to see him verified. We did see him on a brief, like 3-second bit, you know, footage from the team's Web3 Summit. So these are all good things, right? Like Star-Lord, who responded, he said, this is awesome too, but I'm not fully up on the new Twitter checks, but this is verification that he's paying for the check. Either way, you know, let's effing go. So yes, it means pay $8 a month like myself, even though I'm, you know, also verified. There are other benefits like longer threads. That was the main reason why I decided to pay for it, not just to have some cool looking check mark. But yeah, I wanted to make longer threads because I ended up getting like a limit when I was trying to post a quant, not a quant video, but you know, I'll post research, and then from there, I wanted to add a video to it, but then you know they had limitations, so I said, you know what, I actually like the idea of trying to support this platform and so on, and I want to see obviously my Twitter grow, so I did that. So there's that. The next thing I want to show you guys is what we're going to jump into that I wanted to show you yesterday. So let's share this instead. This comes from Black Swan Capitalist Verson Alarja. He says, Forbes contributor exposes the SEC's corrupt tactics in the relentless campaign against Ripple XRP. Now, this was, of course, reported yesterday, but still big either way. And it says, allegations are floating that the SEC violated the law. Stay tuned for mainstream news coverage in the near future. SEC went overboard in campaign against Ripple, Forbes contributor. So I try to find out more information on what he was talking about than other than just giving you guys like a little teaser, as you guys see right here. So this was reported from a few different outlets, but here's the one I chose. You know, like it says 5 hours ago, it says Forbes contributor shows how SEC overstepped its boundaries in the lawsuit against Ripple. And then, of course, this is going to be our only coverage tonight in regards to Ripple's XRP. But it states the legal battle between the United States Securities and Exchange Commission and Ripple Inc. seems to take significant twist following a recent discovery by Sam Lyman, a renowned contributor at Forbes. According to Lyman, the SEC may have taken on more than it could handle in its lawsuit against the cross-border payment firm. Per Lyman, the SEC is hell-bent on proving that most cryptocurrencies are securities and must abide by the principles guiding security assets in the United States. However, past statements, internal documents, and public speeches resurfaced, and they all seem to contradict SEC's present regulatory stance on crypto assets. Lyman maintained that the SEC is conscious, of the contradictions between its present and past principles guiding security and non-security assets, resulting in its recent attempt to conceal the details of some of its crucial judgment materials, especially Hinman documents. Here it is. Like it says, the SEC may have bitten off more than it can chew in its campaign against XRP. In his latest piece for Forbes Crypto, he discusses how ripple effects from the lawsuit could benefit not just the XRP army, but also Coinbase and the industry as a whole. There's, of course, a little bit more in regards to all this. Let me just get to this part real quick. So it says, in a twist of the legal procedure, Judge Torres, the federal judge in charge, as we know, said earlier that, had earlier ruled that the documents must be readily available for the public, as she may rely on the details of the papers for the final court rulings. In regards to the Hinman emails, right? I imagine that's what it's about. So Judge Torres' declaration was a welcome development for the XRP community and the crypto industry. There's, of course, some of this going on, right? The legal experts' insight and so on. But you could take more of your own deeper dive into it. I do like this part. It says, in conclusion, Deaton commended, the least expected support from the XRP community members since the onset of the legal battle. According to Deaton, about 75,000 XRP community members stood against the U.S. SEC regulatory principles, which could have taken the SEC aback. So I thought I'd give you a little bit in regards to the source of some of this stuff. I'm going to drop this into the comments because, I don't want to put the whole focus on this, but I want you guys to have this. So here it is. And yeah, not too shabby. All right. So there's that. Let me get into the next part of what we have. All right. I'm going to read a few more comments. Welcome a few more people. See where we're at. All right. I think this is where we might be at. Jasmi will retire. Boomer. Yeah, we're going to retire a lot of us. I did read that. My bad. And Magic Power states, Jasmi founded a company called Japani Labors in June to manage the tokenomics. Okay, that's good. I'll look more into that. Hopefully, Jasmi will soon release its secure PC in English. Yeah, that's been something they've been working on for a while, but I think that's the next big step. Ando and Sato are the owners, have the knowledge, experience, and necessary connections in business and government to make Jasmi successful. And if you guys have seen my deep dive, I outlined a few key things that I thought was crucial, basically speaking. Am I not with you guys? What's going on here? Let me refresh the other page. I think I am. Oh, yeah, I am. All right. But yeah, verifying the patents, so all that stuff that we thought was, or some people thought was speculative, is no longer speculative. You can confirm it for yourself. But Jasmi ain't made you rich yet. No, I wouldn't expect it to make anybody rich just yet. Cash Cats, the more I look into Jasmi, the farther I fall in love me some Jasmi. Okay, cool. All right. Jasmi Movement. I did read that. My bad. All right. Menace, you support Jasmi. That's why I support you. Well, thanks, Menace. Appreciate that. Thank you again for the $2 super chat. In light of technical problems, Menace, yeah, thanks again, man. Brian Dowie says, "Sup, Max? Glad to have you, Mr. Brian Dowie. Max's camera fund. I could buy a camera. It's just, I tried a brand new camera. I had the same problems, and that's my issue. It's like, and it was a different camera. But, I mean, I could try again, I guess, on something different. I'll just troubleshoot something else. All right. But, I mean, to me, it's like an OBS issue. I have uninstalled OBS where it just had StreamYard. Same problem. So, I don't know. Blackwood, making chicken tenders from scratch. Hands are full. Camera kaput again. Yeah, I don't know what the deal is with that. All right. So I'm going to show you guys something else, and I'm going to jump to the BSV segment for a brief moment. So I want to show you guys this. This is pretty cool stuff. So let's take a moment to do that. All right. So let's share this. All right, so this comes from the Bitcoin Association, and like it says, another stat for the day. And basically speaking, it says BSV processes 78.2% of the total transactions, more than XRP and ETH over the last 24 hours. This was actually posted earlier today. So if you wonder how soon this was, at 9:26 a.m. Here's some of the statistics in regards to that. Let's blow it up. You can compare it for instance, with XRP, ETH, and some of the other ones. Pretty big figures, to say the least. All right. The next thing I want to show you guys basically is this right here. And I did take the liberty to get more into this, right? So I downloaded the ebook where it says, what is Bitcoin, or what is BSV? Because in reality, they refer to it as Bitcoin. So it says, we invite you to discover the bit in Bitcoin that makes it a data management system with superior features and benefits. And of course, I decided to take the liberty to download it. And I'm going to get to some key areas of this real quick for you guys. So I want to show you just a tad bit more in regards to this. So it says, for instance, Bitcoin SV, what is it and how it restores basically the promise of enterprise blockchain. I'm not going to read all this, but I wanted to get to some key areas that I want to highlight here. All right. So, and I mean, IBM is obviously mentioned quite a bit here, but some key highlights I want to show you guys is where it says IBM is building an NFT platform in collaboration with IPv6. We understand that IPv6 really stands out, especially if you're a Casper holder. So it says to deploy a global patent ecosystem to research, license, finance, and commercialize patents. At the same time, IBM Blockchain, in collaboration with IPv6, is building an NFT platform to deploy a global patent ecosystem to research, license, and even finance and commercialize patents. Another thing I want to show you guys down here, just a second, in regards to this whole thing of BSV and so on. And that is this blockchain impersonated. All right, let me blow this up a tad. All right. So this part I thought was pretty cool. Wanted to share this with you guys. So it says blockchain impersonated. To reiterate, blockchain technology was designed to equip businesses to integrate with the data economy through distributed, secure, scalable, and stable infrastructure. But present implementation, of the technology has led us further away from this goal. By building countless separate blockchain infrastructures, we have lost the cost of efficiency, scalability, and security of an interoperable system. By implementing private blockchains, we have recreated private company ledgers with little more than a hint of blockchain's core security model. By competing to reinvent blockchain's core design, we have ended up with multiple protocols and been relegated to a siloed approach to data. I mean, even Gilbert Verdi has mentioned a lot about that, right? So it says scale, security, stability, and interoperability have all been compromised, and businesses seem in many ways less prepared for data or I should say for a data economy than before. Of course, this is not the case for providers intentionally trying to warp the technology. Like most nascent technologies, there's simply a lack of understanding and access to information. Now, here's the aha moment. So, this is where BSV blockchain comes in. By returning to the original design and protocol of the Bitcoin blockchain, BSV blockchain has solved these drawbacks and delivers on the promises of blockchain for business. So, I'm going to go down a little bit more. Says when Satoshi Nakamoto created Bitcoin back in 2009, he intended for it to be rolled out as a single block or single global blockchain that would scale to serve an unlimited number of applications and users. One chain, millions of applications. By returning to Bitcoin's original design, BSV is on track to deliver the stability, security, and scale the data economy demands. BSV, if you didn't know, is the only blockchain which has massively scaled. Says the BSV network supports greater data capacity, higher transaction volume, fast processing, and very low transaction fees, all of which enable developers to build creative applications that use micropayments, generate high transaction volume. On the BSV mainnet, transaction throughput of 18,606.42 transactions per second has been demonstrated at a block height of 756,618, and it keeps growing. Shows some of the comparisons, right? As we know that, traditional BTC is extremely slow at 7 TPS. And here it is, BSV, Terra node, 1 million plus TPS coming soon. So, the furry cat, when he came into the comments, I guess he wasn't really BSing, he was saying that like 1 million plus TPS would be coming soon. It's already impressive on the surface when it comes to 100,000 TPS, right? And some big players are obviously here. I use PayPal probably twice a month at least, minimum of once a month, right? We're obviously always talking about Ripple's XRP, 1500 TPS. We obviously talk about Hyperledger Fabric, right? It's got 2700 TPS. All these things are pretty impressive in itself. Visa, doesn't list MasterCard, but Visa themselves are 24,000 TPS. But for them to be able to accomplish something like that, 1 million transactions per second, that's incredibly impressive. So this next part of what we have, I'll get to in a bit. But I want to get into some of the comments here in a brief moment. But we're going to show you guys a video in regards to a certain professor. And I'll just give you a brief intro real quick on who this guy is and why he's important. So give me just a second. And, what I want to show you guys basically is a little intro who he is. So it says, this person who's Professor Latif Ladid, he's the head of IPv6 forum about how IPv6 and BSV together enable a true end-to-end model of the internet. Now, I myself and a lot of other people, you guys already use IPv6, right? Like your NIC card basically supports it, but he outlines how we need to get to like full scale adoption. We can't just have 40 or 50% of the world. We need to get like 100% of the world going and so on. So I'll show you guys that here in a bit. Just going to read a few more comments. So let's see here where we're at. I want to welcome Mr. Selma Fudd. Thanks for being here. All right. Let me see where we're at. Jasmi Movement, have you had any more Casper deep dive lately? No, I need to do some of that stuff. It's just, it's kind of like, what's supply and demand and so on. I want to try my best to cover stuff. But at the same time, it's like, especially with work and stuff, there's only so much time in the day. But I would love to get back to covering a lot of that stuff. I just need some help, basically with, piecing some of this stuff together. Hopefully when Larry has more time in the future. All right. Casper is the Boston version of Casper. I know it does seem that way, don't it? Sounds that way. Crypto Marak says, is there any utility coin with low supplies besides Quant? Yes, BSV for sure. It's got the same supply as the original Bitcoin BSV, or excuse me, as BTC, but it has this is something that's actually scalable, unlike BTC. That's why we're sharing it with you guys. But if you're impressed with Quant supply, you'll be also impressed with BSV supply. All right. Let me read a few more comments. I want to welcome Wayne Side. He says, dudes, what's up? What's up, man? Yeah, thank you for being here. All right. Triple C says, I think they will announce 1 million TPS at the London event. That'd be incredible. Can you imagine how much this will pop off? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe it's just, again, another example of it's not about what is said. It's, again, the utility being used. Bitcoin is legacy tech. Maxis can't save it. Yeah, I would agree with you on that. All right. So we're going to kick into this next part. And like I mentioned, this guy, this is an old video, but, all this talk about IPv6 and so on. So it says IPv6 unlocks the true power of BSV. Here's a conversation with Professor Latif Ladid. This is only under about 5 minutes. And if anything, I thought I would share it with you guys. So let's go ahead and get into that. And here we go. Smash that like if you haven't done so already. Thank you very much.
I started the IPv6 forum back in 1999 when the IPv6 task force at the ITF has released the draft of the IPv6 RFC 2460. It was back in December 98. And at that time, that group had to be dissolved because the work had been finished. So the best way to continue the work is to start the IPv6 forum in order to disseminate and promote IPv6 deployment around the world. We knew that the address space back in 92 was going to be depleted fast because the internet was opened in 91 by Al Gore. He basically opened the NSFNet, which became the first internet. And at that time, we already knew that the IPv4 address space was depleted by 40%. So the call for a new protocol was made by the ITF with an RFC. Then many proposals have been made. So basically V6, V7, V8, and V9. And after 5 years of work, V6 was selected. And then we started promoting the IPv6. And the first killer application was basically 3G. After 10 years, the IPv4 address space was depleted back in 2011, as a matter of fact, on the 2nd of February 2011. And since that time, we have run out of central address space. But the registries and the ISPs still has some, so they could still use it up to now. But in the meantime, we have deployed now IPv6 worldwide. About 45% of the world are using it without knowing it, and that's the purpose of it. We have the major organizations and the major ISPs, and also some government now are pushing for an IPv6 only by 2025, primarily the US government. So the US government networks, they would like to achieve something like 80% IPv6 only by 2025. After the first inflection point with 3G, 4G, 5G, blockchain is the next biggest one. Basically, blockchain is designed for IPv6, even people didn't know that. From the start, it's an end-to-end solution. There are not many end-to-end solutions on this planet. So some people will think, it's a peer-to-peer application. This is beyond peer-to-peer application. So by using the address space as a source and destination, you have the best model of the internet. This is how the internet has started, as an end-to-end model. And we have basically the telecom world made it as a telecom internet by using network address translation, so disrupting the end-to-end model. IPv6 has restored it exactly for an application like blockchain, because it needs the end-to-end model. So you can do better job than just as an application. You can do it by using the end-to-end model, in this case, using the IPv6 address on both sides, so you can route between the two of them, and you don't need anybody in between to tell you what you're doing. Blockchain will add fundamental approach how the internet should be functioning, also by making small amounts, very tiny amounts, which can accumulate for many people that are doing transaction over the internet. So payment was not included in the internet at the beginning. And I think blockchain with BSV is kind of restoring what did not happen on the internet at the beginning. But we will have a lot of work to do, to educate and to get best practices and push the right messages to governments, to regulators, to the ISPs and industry, because blockchain is not one single solution. So you've got so many competing solutions today, and everyone is claiming victory and so on. There is a bit of chaos in this area, and we would like to support only the one that is going to be the winner with IPv6. And I think the BSV blockchain is a good one. BSV association is very important, to get the education out there. We have to explain what is BSV and what is blockchain along our common terms. Because as I mentioned earlier on, there's a lot of education because the confusion has already happened. So we have to detach BSV blockchain from all the crypto stuff and so on and so forth. We don't want to be supporting a kind of royal casino for the entire planet. That's not the purpose of this work. We want to get everyone to be involved.
Yeah, like you mentioned, he wants to get everybody involved. I mean, that's always a good thing, and you like the breakdown to hear about some of the actual use case. That's my main thing. It's like we could talk about utility to the moon, but if you don't have any real true use case and so on, and you're just trying to give people hope of a possible future utility, hey man, screw all that. At the end of the day, we all want to see the actual utility being implemented and actually being used. You see some of the use cases here, some of the things they talk about of what they're working on. So I got roughly, I think, another couple things I want to share in regards to BSV with you guys. Before I do so, I'm going to read just a couple more comments. I want to obviously welcome Mr. Michael Montclair, if I didn't do so already. April Cornwell says, hey, you guys. Happy Tuesday. Thank you for being here. IPv6 is what it's all about. But yeah, thanks for being here. April, are you doing Taco Tuesday at the Cornwell household, or are you guys doing something else, getting tired of Taco Tuesday? All right. Menace says he is also a computer systems information technician. Very cool. I want to welcome Baton Genio 00101. What up? He says, welcome back. And there's a lot of Ripple chatter. There is. I've seen a lot that is basically been mentioned. All right. Michael Montclair says, this beats BitBoy's show. So much information. Go, Max. Well, thanks, man. That's quite the compliment. Do appreciate that. And it says, I only talk if I understand what I'm saying, unless, of course, I jest, which is often. But you'll know the difference. No worries. We just appreciate you even being here, taking the time out of your day to join us with our community and so on. It means a lot. BitBoy show is a freaking circus act. He's got a lot of ego too, I still watch a lot of things that he mentions, like when I do like some of his format, you know what I mean? Like when he shares, for instance, information about a project, like the video he did, or the short statement he did like on LCX and stuff like that. But I do understand a lot of the criticism that he gets. But boy knows about BSV. Don't like BB channel. He sold out. Yeah, I mean that whole thing with the Ben token or coin, right? I guess it was token. Promising everybody that you would never sell, and you do something like that. It's like, well, if you're so set, why are you selling? You know what I mean? Anyway, Cool Cat Crypto, he knows there is a form of Bitcoin that's going to blow everything else away. I didn't realize he got more into BSV. That's pretty cool. His ego got inflated a little since his YouTube channel blew up. Wish someone would tell him. I think you're trying to say that he doesn't look good in Gucci. Neither does what's his face from Hacks, Richard Hart, right? I mean, those colors, it's like, I don't care what brand it is. If you got colors that are clashing with each other, what's the point? Anyway, but he sold out with him too. Interesting. April Cornell cleaning up after all the kiddos. Yeah. Okay. So my FUD says, Brian, no more mud butt with that bidet. You should be clean as a whistle. It's not Brian Dowie with the mud butt. It was Rain. I miss Rain. We got to get him back here if we got a mud butt special. All right. Yeah, absolutely. Good old Rain. Hopefully he's doing well. I'm sure he is. With all that quant he has, he's just kind of looking at like, all I want to talk about really is quant, and we're going to have to wait for that to mature and so on. So we'll probably see him again in the future, and I look forward to seeing him again. But I do miss that guy. He was a nice guy. Let me see if this thing's going to get mad at me. It's going to be like like an ex-girlfriend, mad for no reason. Let's see what happens. All right. Okay. Wayne Size says BitBoy is the nickname, Butt Boy, for the lead guitar player for Dred Zeppelin. Anybody? Wow. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. What happened to Rain? Right? Baton says, just waiting for those documents to come out June 13th. We'll see what happens with XRP. Yep. Not a fan of BitBoy's pump and dump schemes. I mean, that was pretty messed up. BitBoy won't talk about BSV on his show. Did he do a video, though, at some point? Is that how you knew that he did something? All right. Cash Rain will show up. That's what I'm thinking. He's going to show up like in 2024, 2025 or something like that. Jasmi, Max and the Larry talk, or the Larry, Max and Larry, the Crypto Talk Now show does a great job of giving praise and respect to their followers. Great job each and every night, fellas. Well, thanks, man. I mean, kind of fighting through, the technical problems, but here's the thing, man. I'm not trying to purposely skip over your question. It's just that I'm having so many distractions with the constant problems of the technical problems. I hope that you don't take it personal, okay? But I'll read this. I read Binance might be under investigation for commingling customers and business funds. Rumor or news? Is that your question? I didn't see an actual question mark on that one, but maybe that's why. See, a lot of times I read so much every day, and if I don't see certain things, like how like when we all text somebody, sometimes we don't bother to put a question mark at the end. But for me, I mean, I read like crazy all day long, so sometimes it's a lot of just glancing at stuff. So sorry about that. Anyway, I don't really have an answer for that, unfortunately. Read a couple more questions or comments. Dustin Prince, welcome. He says, I'm investing heavily in Mina because nobody is talking about it. Well, I guess you got to do what you got to do. Me personally, I don't know if I'd invest in something that nobody's talking about, because at the end of the day, it's all about supply and demand. I mean, you can have the greatest utility in the world. Nobody's using it. It's like having a 1956 Studebaker Golden Hawk, worth a lot, but if nobody's using it, then what's the point? All right. I hear you. It's just that sometimes when I see a bunch of words on the screen, I may glance over that, not realizing it's a question. Okay. So I'm going to jump into this next part of what we have. And let's just get right into that. So give me a second. I want to show you guys this real quick. All right. And there goes my camera again, because it wants to be stupid. Like, there's clearly nothing wrong with the camera. It's just a stupid software, but whatever. All right. Time to unplug that again. All right. So let's just share this. And I think it's this next one. Same guy. All right. Same guy. But this one's pretty good. So, what are the benefits of pairing IPv6 and the BSV blockchain, right? Because, I mean, we could, talk about this till we're blue in the face. But, I mean, at the end of the day, what's the whole point? So I'm going to share this with you guys. And here we go. And again, this is from Professor Latif Ladid. He discusses the current deficiencies of the internet is higher hierarch infrastructure and how IPv6 and BSV can tackle these collectively by providing us with much better version of the internet. All right, this one's about 7 minutes, but I mean it's got some nice B-roll. I don't know, it's a pretty nice outline, to say the least. All right, here we go.
The current internet works as such. So instead of having end-to-end, if not, let's say, peer-to-peer communication, like we have it on the phone, we have somebody in between us who is basically telling us, I am the master and you are my slaves. So I'll make you to talk to each other, but I decide on this one to do it. The original design of the internet was that the big mainframes, they talk to each other directly. In the meantime, we have the telecom world that has joined, and they don't give IP addresses to the users. They give only dynamic, if not only private IP addresses, which makes them rather slaves instead of masters in the connection. So people can't talk to each other unless somebody else makes that possible. And with IPv6, we have restored this end-to-end model so that people can talk to each other directly. And this is very important for applications like blockchain, which will be for sure one of the first biggest candidates to use IPv6 for the many functions that it brings with it. So in the area of IoT, so you don't want to have somebody who is telling the IoT devices to talk to each other. They should talk to each other directly, especially if you have thousands of them implemented. So you want to have these IoT devices to speak to each other and then just send you the decision making that they suggest to you what to do. All these devices, they serve us, and we are not there in order to coach them. So this is a move back to the original idea of the internet. And as a matter of fact, BSV and blockchain is also moved back to the original design of the Bitcoin and blockchain. So it's a good time now that we have new internet protocol, although 45% of the world population is using it without knowing it. And I think we'll see in the hype curve that basically IPv6 is booming, and also BSV and blockchain are also on the same curve going upwards. So they are going to be very good roommates in conquering the internet in a very big style. Now, the next thing will be, in this case, the internet blockchain revolution. We're just at the beginning of it. So it will be how you can use blockchain for tracing, tracking of the products and goods and logistics and so on and so forth. If we look at just the agriculture, for instance, in the US, 30% of the food is lost only in the supply chain. And we're in Morocco here. We have spoken to the Ministry of Agriculture, and they say that 40% of the food is lost from the farm in the supply chain. But then the distribution channel, they reflect the loss of the 40% into the end price. On top of that, the farmer is not getting his proper price. So normally the farmer should sell directly to the end users through distribution channel, but he doesn't need to have somebody in between. So this is not only valid for money, but it's also valid for products. So there is there's a massive redefinition of the supply chain, especially in the food supply, because currently we are under pressure in everywhere. Same thing applies to all the logistic or car industry and so on and so forth. This technology can maximize, if not reduce, the pain on the producers, especially the farmers, but also on the end users. This is a kind of fantastic development that we see in front of us, so that the producers and the users are going to be linked to each other. Now we'll see exactly what's happening and who is making money in that chain. And the end user will be benefiting from this. I'm very optimistic for the next 5 years to see a lot of large cases happening in this area. As a matter of fact, I was following blockchain for quite a while. What I saw was not very attractive, especially in the crypto world, because to be honest with you, that's more of a Ponzi scheme happening. I don't think that's healthy for the world, but it's big. And like we had the internet bubble back end of 1999 and 2000, I won't be surprised to see the crypto bubble also to blow in our face. So by looking at what is the best solution that exists on the market, so obviously like anyone who does his own homework, so I could see that one gentleman was looking at IPv6 and want to review Bitcoin. So I could find the text and found who is the author. And it happened to be Greg Wright. So I sent him an email and he replied in the same second, yeah, I'm interested to talk to you. It was back in December. So after the issue in Miami, I was clear that something very positive has happened to him. In this case, that opened the gate to me and to talk to him. And since we talked, we are on a roller coaster, to make BSV and blockchain the prime candidate for IPv6. And so far, we have done a lot of events, and we are writing some papers on this, and also plenty of conferences, to promote the best practices and the right messages, how to get IPv6 to marry blockchain primarily. We can do it far better with IPv6, especially for the entire planet, not only for certain users. So it will be open thing that most probably will touch every single industry that is going to look for, data transparency as well as tracking, tracing, and so on and so forth. And today, the world needs some application that create peace among people. Now, as a matter of fact, we have a paper that Greg and his team and myself, we have worked on it, and we have proposed it to Etsy as a group report showing, what kind of new functionalities we're going to use that are going beyond IPv6. So we're using identifiers, using what is called CGA, which is cryptographically generated addresses, where you're going to use the IPv6 addresses, but encrypt them as well, to give certain identification with the privacy and so on. This feature have not been used at all. It was waiting for about 20 years to be discovered by Craig. And this paper will be published end of June. But in the meantime, I have run it through many V6 experts. And the response is simple, WOW.
All right. Pretty cool to share that with you guys. Gonna get into just a couple more comments. I guess there isn't any. Sorry about that. Well, we're gonna get into the next thing that we have. So we share some Ripple XRP, obviously some BSV with you guys, which is cool stuff. I'm gonna jump into this Quant segment here in a brief moment, and here we go. So this comes from Quant Papa. Glad to share this with you guys. So, like he says, just a coincidence, bro. And look what's mentioned there. It said this, of course, a few years back, but it says, from Gilbert Variant, this is a Samsung SDS project. We discussed in early 2019. The Korean banks require each user to hold specific certificates just to be able to log on the internet banking. If you have more than one bank account, you need more certificates. The approach Samsung prototype was to use DLT to remove the complexity of holding certificates. Users had a lot to friction if you lost your device, laptop, etc. Glad to see the idea has progressed. Let me show you this as well. It says we had a good trip to South Korea and we met with the Samsung team at their office after they met us in London earlier. Can't say any more than that under a NDA. It's pretty big stuff, right? This is way back years ago, right? There's a lot that's not mentioned in regards to NDAs. There's this as well. No, unfortunately, only the numerous meetings we had with Samsung SDS in London and South Korea. This is in reference to this collaboration. And I'm going to show you guys this in just a brief moment. So here it is. This was posted on 22nd, if you're wondering about all this. So this comes from the Digital Pound Foundation. This is in collaboration with the Bank of Korea, Samsung exploring the implementation of offline CBDC technology into its smartphones and smartwatches that would allow someone to make a payment even when they had no internet connection. Here it is, Samsung exploring an offline digital currency that works with Galaxy phones. You know, some people were sent offline payments. Sounds like WTK. Call it what you want. So if you're wondering, like, is there any reference back to, like, maybe Gilbert talked about this at some particular time? Well, good old Quant Papa is right on top of that, right? Here is this interview with Gilbert Verdian and this guy that I forgot this guy's name, but he did a lot of interviews in the past. So, like it says right here, Quant, Fujitsu, DXC, Samsung, Accenture, and for instance, you know, I guess you could say the World Wide Web, right? Small partners. We're going to play this. Smash a like if you haven't done so already. I do appreciate you guys. Here we go.
So partners are the traditional corporate partners that we work with. And these are the technology companies that take our products, implement it for their customers, and are able to then go and, you know, develop new technology, new innovation at a bigger scale as well. So we've been, you know, I can name some names. We've been talking to Fujitsu, we've been talking to DXC, which is a big, you know, IBM type of outsourcer. We've been talking to Samsung, Accenture, PwC. So we're out there talking to these big system integrators, these big, you know, global companies that
and are they talking back?
Of course, yeah, no, yeah, it's not one way.
Tell us about that though. You know, how much are they talking back, and how is it looking? How are these conversations building out into real contractual, you know, agreements and partnerships?
Yeah. So that's what we're ironing out now, because we had to build the tech to demonstrate what it can do, and it's built. So now those guys, our partners that we're looking to partner with, like our approach, and they want to test it for themselves, and then they'll take it to their customers, because their customers are demanding it, right? Their customers are saying, look, we love blockchain, it solves this problem, but we don't want to be limited to this one technology. We don't want to be limited to this one vendor. We want to have some choice. So these system integrators, outsourcers, they would go and take Overledger to them and say, well, this solves that problem for you. We'll implement it and we'll manage it for you as a service as well. Right. So we're at the stage where we're doing those discussions to get to those agreements and, you know, working out the models. So yeah.
All right. Glad to share that with you guys, because, you know, sometimes you got to see what's going on, obviously, in the modern times with that article we saw from CNBC. And then it's nice to have something to reference, even if it is from a few years ago. Boom. There you go. All right. So that might conclude some of the Quant coverage. Hold on a second. Yeah, that does. All right. So what I want to show you guys now is in regard to XDC. Yeah, XDC. We haven't shared some XDC with you guys for a while. So this comes from this guy's name is Digital G. You can be followed at Algo Gino. Pretty good guy. Saw some unique tweets from him that was very informative. He says how Zenfin Network is solving the most complex problem in the crypto space by Muhammad Humair Qureshi in May of 2023. So we're going to jump into this. All right. So it says, for instance, this whole write-up, and it comes from cryptoavanza.com. So we're going to jump into this. I'll try to blow it up a little bit more for you guys. I think that's pretty good. All right. So Zenfin, like it mentions, is a hybrid, right? And a lot of us know about this. But nonetheless, it says it's a hybrid blockchain platform designed to solve the most complex problems in the crypto space. Today, we all know blockchain is a distributed ledger technology. Unfortunately, we're not aware of the scalability issues of this technology. We know a lot about this history here, right? So I'm not going to get into all this specifically. But, you know, one thing I do want to mention is this is basically, you know, blockchain is technology that enables transparency with the help of the distributing form of data recording. This distributed phenomenon makes cryptocurrency like Bitcoin more decentralized and creates scalability issues in this network. Join us as we explore the core of blockchain technology, how Zenfin Network solves its most pressing problems in the future of the XDC token. So we're going to jump down to some of these specific things. Actually, I think I'm going to get to the key area that I wanted to highlight for you guys, right? So I'm going to jump to here about scalability with hybrid blockchain. And on this one, it says we are concentrating on making our blockchain more scalable, right? As the saying goes, whether it's BSV or some of these other projects, can you scale, right? I got to be able to have, and you have got to be able to have, and everyone has got to be able to have the same experience where, you know, you're not being throttled, you're not running into congestion, just because, you know, a guy named Joe Schmo has a great experience. Is everybody else having a great experience, right? That's scalability. So, it says we are concentrating on making our blockchain more scalable in the third era. We are doing this by combining public and private blockchain features called a hybrid or consortium blockchain. While public blockchains offer transparency, their open nature can make network efficiency expensive for transactions due to the high gas fees. That's like kind of like poking at Ethereum, obviously. The more nodes, the less scalability, making them unsuitable for scalability. Hybrid blockchains, however, have more scope of adoption in the real world for multiple organizations, such as some of what you see right here. So we're just talking about hybrid, right? So hybrid Internet of Things or Internet of Trust, right? Hybrid blockchains can prevent security threats for IoT devices and simplify the integration of different IoT devices. There's obviously trust among the enterprises. Hybrid blockchains can enhance transparency, dependability, and trust for companies. But what about the whole thing with supply chain? Let's face it, guys. When it comes to VET, that's always brought up in the mention. VeChain, Morpheus network, so on and so forth. Especially when it comes to supply chain. It says the hybrid blockchain is ideal for supply networks since it is extensive and requires private and public information. Many logistic firms, such as the IBM Food Trust, are already using it to make the food supply chain more efficient. Everyone from farmers to wholesalers and distributors participate in the network, with Walmart also actively being involved. How about banking? Hybrid blockchains are also a good option for finance because banks need to have secure user information while resolving internal issues. There's obviously government use cases, so on and so forth. But this key area right here, XinFin Network, approaches the scalability and regulatory with hybrid blockchain. In reality, is this the path forward right here as far as getting what we need and want to, let's face it, have that blast off that we all want? Well, it could very well be. XDC Network and its hybrid approach recognize the benefits of public networks and develop a solution to address the issue. They create a private subnetwork within the shared public ledger, allowing for transactions to be verified while also preserving data privacy. Institutions can establish their private network by running a node, and confidential documents can remain within this network, with only limited data moving to the public network. Now, in regards to the foundation, it states that XinFin's products and ecosystem is the XinFin hybrid blockchain, which uses an innovative XDPOS consensus to make it easy for users and master node owners to interact with the XinFin XDPOS blockchain. The company has created tools like XinFin Scan, Masternode app, XinFin Web Wallet, and XinFin Mobile Wallet. They plan to keep improving these tools in the long term and also work on developing new and innovative products and technologies to make XinFin an ideal platform for open finance and enterprise-oriented applications. So I'm not going to read everything that's here, but one thing I do want to point out is, for instance, like what you see with some of the recent price and so on. And again, some people want to jump back to the whole idea of, hey, you know what? When it comes to XinFin, XDC, I don't like the idea of all this sideways action. If you've been part of any particular bull run in the past, you will have basically appreciated that because, there's countless examples of where an asset, digital asset in this case, you had sideways action for 9 months, maybe a year and so on, but it's the consistent strengthening of that digital asset. Once you get into a particular bull run, like a true, all-time highs and so on, you should see things go absolutely parabolic. Combine that with everything you see right here, like addressed up above here, where they talk about this right here. I'll show you guys again. Zenfin Scan, Masternode app, Zenfin web wallet, Zenfin mobile wallet, and the plethora of other use cases for XDC network, right? Whether it's Comtech Goal or some of these other particular projects and so on. There's a lot that's being built on XDC. And my thing is, this is one particular example of a blockchain solution that's going to stand out here soon. And especially at these prices, I'm not complaining about it. Sometimes like when we see people from the outside that haven't done their research when it comes to XDC, or I don't know, some of these other particular projects like Jasmi, still low prices and so on. This isn't the bottom of the bottom for XDC, but it's still a steal in my opinion when it comes to some of these prices. So when we talk about when it comes to the accumulation phase of crypto, I still feel as though XDC is definitely part of that mix, along with some of these other ones. And the way I look at it is, I'll be glad that I had stacked XDC, whether it was last year or even this year. All right, I'm gonna kick it back into the comments. Thank you to everybody that's, or whoever is still here, even though I'm having technical problems. You guys are obviously talking about Bleeze. All right. So let me go further down. I want to welcome John Francis for being here. Thank you so much for the support. John Francis says, Max, do you think these crypto innovators and pioneers of today are smarter than the internet pioneers of the 90s? I think it depends on some of the ones, right? But I like the backgrounds of some of these guys. That's why, I like, for instance, Gilbert Verdin so much. He teams up with the IETF, the Internet Engineering Task Force. And as we know, those guys are literally the pioneers of the internet. So when you see that, examples of that and so on, that's impressive. I want to pay attention to like who is part of this mix. Quant, they're working side by side with some of these guys. That's very, very impressive. And then on top of that, like, when you hear, for instance, that professor from, who's showing some use case about IPv6 with BSV, you come to the conclusion that, yeah, this guy, he's been around. He even referenced, some of you guys may not be too cool with some of the things he mentioned as far as Al Gore, but he did mention some of the things from like the early 90s. I always love it when you hear examples of guys who've been around for a very, very long time, and they're wanting to be part of this constant progression with innovation, whether it's through, distributed ledger technologies and so on. But they get the whole concept of, blockchain technology and how that's the path forward for Web3 and further out, right? So those to me are the key players. I don't mind investing into some of these projects, whereas BSV, Quant, obviously XDC and so on, because my thing is, they're right. You got to have some kind of scalability. And if you don't, then what are you basically doing? So yeah, the way I look at it is, some of these innovators and pioneers of today, like you said, are smarter in some cases than just internet pioneers of the 90s. Only for the reason that maybe some of these pioneers from the 90s, they just stopped, if you will. Like maybe they just got kind of comfortable. But I also like the idea of the ones that came from not just the 90s, but even back in the 80s, like the IETF and so on, the ones that are connected to that. And they're still trying to innovate and they're still trying to progress. I think all of that is worth paying attention to. And I think that's why, even though IBM gets a lot of criticism, IBM is here to stay. You know what I mean? And it is worth, I guess you could say, applauding some of their efforts, like whether they're, connected to Casper. Obviously, they got the thing going on with Casper. They got things going on with Hedera. They got things obviously going on with BSV. So I don't know who it was. I don't know if it was GF Burke. Maybe it was Burke. Nothing against what he was saying, but he was mentioning like he works with mounting server racks and so on. And I've even done that before too. And then you just think to yourself like, well, they don't got much going on as far as like what you see in that particular industry. But you got to keep in mind, some of these companies have reached out to leaps and bounds beyond just the scope of what we see on the surface. It's what they're working on in the background. And I think IBM has definitely proved itself that, there's a reason why, for instance, they are a part of the, Hedera governing council, or why they're working with BSV, or why they're working with, Casper with IPv and so on. So all those things, Casper, BSV, et cetera, I'm personally invested into all those things. And the way I look at it is, I'm not invested into any of these for a quick pump and dump. I'm invested into these for a long-term sustainability. At the end of the day, I'm not trying to just make a quick buck where, it might benefit me like an extra $10,000. I mean, that's nice, but I'm into this for that, that generational wealth. All right. Blackwood says, watching CTN and Bleach simultaneously, not sure what to make of this dude yet, but nothing special. Okay. Jeez. That might actually be true. Okay. That's a funny one. Both Max and Bleach, speaking in mind is stretching, attention fragmented but manageable. Oh boy. All right. XTC's ability to scale is very suspect, in my opinion. All roads lead to Jasmi, says Mess. XTC going to have to do way better than 2,000 TBS to handle trade finance. Yeah, but you know what? How about this? Cool Cat. It's kind of like, for instance, I mean, I shouldn't mention BitBoy, but he did make a comment in regards to this. So a while back when he did an LCX video, something was mentioned in regards to, like the banking money. It's enough to get that stuff done. Would we like it to be a lot faster? Well, of course, but that's just the way I look at it. Jasmi can't scale either, but has some to make a little money. I mean, we could criticize a lot of projects. I mean, a lot of times, like you point out, for instance, like, how can all these projects avoid gas fees? I mean, you make some good points, but my thing is, like, even with Quant or Jasmi, I mean, that's all obviously ERC20, or some other projects. It's like, for me personally, maybe we're not on the same page of this, but like, it's like, I look at Quant as eventually being like 100,000 a coin. Could you be right when it comes to BSV, and that could be way up there as well? Yeah, I'm willing to, invest some into BSV. But my point is, I'm not going to like look at Quant and just dump it all. Like, hey, Mike Cornwall, I heard, remember how you introduced Quant to us originally, or maybe him or a few of the other guys. Hey, guess what, Mike? In the future, we truly believe that this is going to go to like 100,000 a coin. Well, you're going to get hit with like thousands of dollars worth of gas fees. So just go dump all your Quant or dump all your Jasmi when it hits $1, because in the future, you're going to get hit with thousands of dollars of gas fees. No, we're not looking at it from that perspective. I mean, but that is criticism, how they avoid the gas fees. But I'm not into some of these projects because of, the whole topic of, hey, they're not going to be able to avoid gas fees and so on. All right. Blackwood says, no offense to meme coin holders, shit holder myself. Yep, me too. But not a fan of channels focused on them. Please is the 7-Eleven sandwich I can do without. Wow, that's quite the perspective. Bleeze has been that hot dog that's been in the spinner all day at 7-Eleven. My God. Roller grill food. All right. Magic Power says Jasmi still needs two important things: its own blockchain. Yeah, they're going to get to that. And interoperability, open source. After that, the price will explode. Well, I got criticism from, what's his name? Uncle Ray, Crypto Bellwether, said that, basically I make stuff up, but in reality, it wasn't making anything up about Hyperledger Fabric and how Quant's Overledger has support for Hyperledger Fabric, and it could make things interoperable. So it's like, again, like I put it in that deep dive video, it's like, at the end of the day, what's important here? What's important is, if we're really serious about interoperability, why not get that done? And to me, I mean, you must be able to solve some of the interoperability issues, that would definitely be the answer. Excuse me, I don't want to burp on live stream. That's just the way I look at it. I mean, we saw Quant recently apply for a patent in Japan. I mean, it's all about connecting the dots. If things make sense, like, act upon that. I mean, I'm not in charge of these, DLT projects and so on, but that's just the way I personally look at it. And important to know the Jasmi team is working on it. Yeah, that's pretty cool stuff. Baton is CPH out of your book now, Max? No, I still have it. I still hold it. I have stated that if it crashes to like a penny or under, I'll buy one more bag. And then after that, that'll just basically be it. Why would I do that? Because I'm weird like that. Basically speaking, I look at FedNow's coming up real soon within a matter of weeks. And, it's a possibility that we could all be wrong. And if we are all wrong, why would I want to take advantage of that possibility? Is it FOMO? Absolutely. Does, Sky Gal, does he promote Cypherium like it's a freaking meme coin? Yes. Does he have blindless followers that give you kind of like Saitama-esque vibes through a guy who kind of gives you that feeling? Yes. Is that the right way to go about promoting a serious potentially a FedNow project? No, that's not the way to go about it, but that's the way he's going about it. So I think we've seen a lot of things that's been very damaging to that project. But that's just the way I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it for the possibility that at a penny and a half, I'm tempted to just buy one more bag, but I'm still going to wait it out. And basically speaking, I mean, there's a lot of other factors that are going to come into play that people don't even realize that could even pump the Cypherium price, whether they have FedNow or not. And that is a Fed pause. Two different things, though. All right, scale token. I don't own any. With all that is going on with Jasmi, it's going to be huge. That's a good point. Let me check the score real quick on the game. Fourth quarter, 9 minutes left, 92-83. Ooh, Boston's ahead. Interesting. All right, so I'm probably going to wrap things up here in just a brief bit. Just going to read a few more comments. I do apologize about the camera issues. I can record like a Jasmi type video or Quant, right, through OBS, where you guys see my full, background where it's all blue and stuff like that. No problems. But with this, it keeps having conflicts. So I am probably going to do a test stream later on with just OBS instead of StreamYard, where you'll see it appear on YouTube. That'll just be for testing purposes. You guys are more than welcome. If I don't know what time of the night it's going to be, but I am going to try it out. And I'm just going to see if it's a StreamYard issue, because, I mean, for one, Larry's having problems with StreamYard. I'm having these problems with StreamYard. So we might have to just cancel StreamYard. Maybe some people feel as though we should cancel a long time ago, and I understand that. But also we're not really having like guests on all the time. And of course, that's the benefit of having StreamYard, is for the guests. But yeah, that's just the way I look at it. I mean, if we're not taking advantage of the guest function, there's no point of us really using it. We might as well just, use like OBS and so on. So, but I'll try to confirm it. And if that still ends up being an issue on a live stream, we'll take other avenues. Maybe we'll go with, like, for instance, what 2-Bit uses. I think he uses like Streamlabs, but either way, we'll get it figured out. Just takes time. Baton says maybe mental blockchain is the new Cypherium of FedNow. We'll see. And that's another thing. I mean, or I said metal. I did see that. Yeah. Crypto Hulk covers that. I think he covered that a couple times at least. All right. I'm just going to read like maybe 4 or 5 more comments. River says, I missed the red hot beef and bean burritos from 7-Eleven in the 90s. Those are pretty good. The new bomb burritos from like Circle K are pretty good. But I don't know if you have Circle K where you're at. Cash Cat's got Circle K. All right. I too suspect XLM is FedNow's horse. I still do too. Yeah. I'm going to probably look to add more to my position at XLM. It's still so cheap. I mean, under 10 cents, I mean, it's still a buy. And it's at roughly like 8.5 cents or more. So don't have those fees on exchanges. Right. That's a good point too. I mean, we didn't even mention some of that stuff. I mean, that's a very good point. You go with a centralized exchange like KuCoin, you don't get those crazy fees. So Mrs. Dixon is one that was in front of Congress. Menace says, my XLM position is getting slayed, but I hold it because I know what it is, XLM tokenization of the real world assets. And they do love XLM too. I agree. All right. Baton says, yep, I think Cypherum can go big with or without Fed now. I guess time will tell. XRP to the moon. Hey, man, welcome. Glad to have you here. We do show quite a bit of your content. I believe if you're the same guy. He says XRP is just as good, if not better than XLM. XRP bank-to-bank transaction, XLM retailer-to-bank transactions. All right. If you're the guy I'm thinking of, thanks for stopping by. We do appreciate you, and thanks for all the tweets that you sent out with great information. Triple C says, whichever one can scale up and handle global demand will win. A blockchain that can't scale is worthless. All right. Well, thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate you. We'll see you guys back here tomorrow for some more Crypto Talk Now. And I'll try to do like some tests, which is OBS. And if I come to the conclusion that that's the same problems, then I'll go from there. But I got to troubleshoot it. So, yeah, you're welcome. You guys have a great night. We'll see you on the next one.